Eddington was written and directed by Ari Aster and is about the small town of Eddington, which is in New Mexico, and revolves around a sheriff and a mayor of that town, and the sheriff running for mayor against the current mayor. These two already kind of have a history with each other, and there's even more feuding going on as a result of them kind of being pitted against each other now. Oh yeah, and also can't forget to mention that it is set in May of 2020, so all the lockdown, mask mandate stuff is coming into effect around this time, and it's just adding even more turmoil onto what these characters are going through. Which, right off the bat, before anything else, I do want to give praise to this movie for how it handled those scenes and those times that we all lived in a while back, because of how uncomfortable it made me watching parts of this movie. I really did not enjoy certain scenes, not because they were bad, but because of kind of the realism portrayed through them and of kind of the political state of our country at that time. But yeah, the movie starts off like that. The first half, roughly, is this neo-Western political black comedy type of movie, and it was cool. I was enjoying it, but then it takes a turn about halfway through and becomes this full-on thriller with murders and deaths and all kinds of stuff like that. And it actually made a pretty smooth transition, I think, into that phase of it. Some may call it tonally inconsistent, which I think at times it is. I think especially towards the end, it gets a little bit ridiculous, and I feel like the attempts at comedy at that point as well just really start to fall flat. There were aspects of the ending that I thought were sort of messy, but for the most part, I feel like the tone was pretty consistent. I didn't really find it to be all over the place. And because the story takes such a dramatic turn at a certain point and goes in such a different direction that I was not expecting, and I was so shook by what was going on and by certain decisions that characters were making and motives that were changing and whatnot, I was just honestly gripped by it. Sure, you could argue doesn't fit with the first half of the movie, kind of what it becomes in the second half, but I was on board with it. It really caught my attention and shocked me a lot, so I was cool with it. Now, as I said, the sheriff, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and the mayor, played by Pedro Pascal, they have a bit of a history with each other. It's alluded to a little bit, but just a little bit. You know, I do wish there was a little more tension between the two of them. It's obvious that they're butting heads. It's obvious that they don't get along. That's made clear. But I do wish we had more context, more fleshed out context for why they have the type of dynamic that they do have. I thought both their performances were great, though. They really did feel like the type of people you would meet in a small Western town like this. And I can say that for the entire cast, all these characters, the town as well, which is basically another character in and of itself, I thought was very well realized, and the culture that existed in this little New Mexico city. I think Phoenix especially did a really good job leading the pack here, and his character was very interesting, although at a certain point in a certain scene, it just felt like he was Beau from Beau is Afraid, the last movie that Ari Aster made. I mean, I can't be the only one that thought that too. It felt like he was acting exactly like that character. With exception to that moment, I thought his performance was really good. There are some kind of annoying side characters, a couple of small subplots set up that I feel like weren't really that necessary. But when it was focusing on the sheriff and the mayor, I was pretty riveted, to be honest, and especially with the sheriff. I found him to be a very interesting character, and like I said, Joaquin Phoenix's performance to be very good. I feel like they utilized satire here pretty well, especially in regards to the true events that inspired the story. I'll say this right now before I close out this review. I think there is a certain point in the movie where something happens, and after that, I think you'll be on board with it, you'll continue to like this movie, or it might ruin the movie for you. Maybe not make you dislike it, but just make you not really enjoy it as much as you did before. I think that's a telling moment for the people that will walk out of this movie either liking or disliked it. And personally, I liked it, and I continue to like it throughout the rest of the runtime. And yeah, overall, I liked Eddington. I thought it was a pretty neat experience at the theater, and I would rate it an 8.5 out of 10. Curious to know what you all think. If any of you have seen this movie, it's only just recently come out in theaters, but if you have happened to have watched it, let me know what you think of it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.